Yeah, Heidi, it is me, Heidi. Okay, so let's commence, everyone. It is 11 o'clock, so welcome to the Understanding the Work tab with QuickBooks Online Accountant. Today, our guest presenter is Kane Munro from the Accountancy Online. Kane's been running his business for about 5 years, he tells me. I've known Kane for quite a while because we're both TWN members, and for the people that don't know what TWN stands for, Intuit have a set of people that help train and work with QuickBooks Online, and we are the Trainer Writer Network. So I've known Kane for a little while. If you want to check out Kane, his website is www.accountancyonline.com.au. And as per the name, Kane is all about online cloud-based software. If you go to one of his blogs, I was just catching up on one of his blogs, and he loves music. So a lot of Kane's blogs are around music. But he does tell me that the main music that he listens to at the moment is the Wiggles. So hopefully you didn't mind me telling everyone that,
No,
Kane.
Yep, absolutely true, cool. Loretta.
Yep, no, it's like that, isn't it, in life? Yep. So everyone, without waiting, I'll let Kane take over now. So thank you very much, Kane. Just to let you know, everyone, as well, please do ask any questions that you like. I will help answer questions, and every now and again, I might just throw back to Kane. So welcome, Kane. Thank you very much, and everyone enjoy.
Thanks, Loretta. As you mentioned, my name is Kane Munro. I'm an actual accountant who is still on the tools most days. Today, I'm going to show you through the Work tab of QuickBooks Online Accountant and how it can save you time. Explicitly, I'm going to show you what the Work tab is, why I think it's important. Then we might jump into what you can do with the Work tab, including creating a project and creating a client request, and then how you can get the most out of the Work tab through importing clients and integrations. The thing I hate most about as an accountant is wasted time and money, especially in administration. You know, the red tapey stuff that doesn't actually help anyone deliver things to clients. To me, administration is really wasted time, and administration is really wasted money. And I do my best to minimize administration at every opportunity. And workflow is one area where firms waste resources all the time. I've seen teams in the biggest accounting firms using Google Sheets or other systems to keep track of the work they're doing. And the partners maintain a master sheet to track tasks across all the employees. Now, this is madness. It's a really good way of forgetting stuff and forgetting clients and not getting work done. I don't know why a lot of firms still bother with these when you have a perfectly excellent workflow tool built into the cloud. And I'm talking about the QuickBooks Work tab at the moment. The Work tab is a new feature in QuickBooks Online Accountant designed to help you log and track the work you need to do every day. It doesn't need to be enabled or purchased or activated. It's there when you want, and it's my favorite price, free. So let's jump right in and explore the Work tab and how it actually works. So what I'll do, I'll just bring across my browser screen here to log into my Pro Advisor, QuickBooks Online Accountant part. And make sure I get the right password. So I'm just logging into the Pro Advisor part of QuickBooks Online Accountant here. You can see this is my practice. The Work tab here is now just on the left. Just loading up here. You can see at the moment I've got a pretty poorly strung out list of clients, but I'll add to that shortly. I'll show you how to upload clients into this so you have all your QuickBooks and non-QuickBooks clients here inside your client so you can then set up different work tabs for them. But first things first, if you actually turn on projects in the advanced settings, then any workflow projects you create automatically flow into your books, i.e. your QuickBooks Online file for your firm. So they flow into your books into projects so you can invoice against these and staff can do timesheets against them. So effectively, the Work tab can give you full practice management, including client billing, job task management, document management, practice management, and timesheets inside QuickBooks Online Accountant. That's pretty amazing. So let's turn on the, in the advanced settings, turn on projects for my particular firm. So if we're going to company settings, just up there under the cog, company settings, under advanced, we want to turn the project financial tracking on. I'll click Use Project Financial Tracking. This setting is permanent. Now I will save that. Done. So now I can actually go ahead and build out my client base. Let's go back to the Work tab. So I'll close this down. We'll jump into the Work tab. I'll toggle from QuickBooks Online on. Once you're in the Work tab, you immediately see all the work that needs to be done today. This enables you to be productive the moment you step into the office, or if you're working outside the office, you can log in remotely and see it via any smartphone device as well. The Work tab also shows you the work that is due this week, the next week, and you can set it to be up to 30 days in advance. Different ways of toggling through, so you can see all statuses, the different client types, and the date range. We'll go back to this in a little bit more detail later on once we've imported some clients into here, so it just looks a little bit more fleshed out. If you click on the list view, you get a list view of all the work items. That's where I was just in. You can see some work from QuickBooks listed here when you first arrive. So you can see this is, at this stage, the only QuickBooks client I have inside this particular ProAdvisor login. So this is drawn directly from inside QuickBooks. There's 3 unaccepted transactions, so I could simply click on this link here, and that will take me into the client file for me to undertake the work on these 3 unaccepted transactions. Really quick, really easy, and drawing information from your client files directly into your workflow. That's a really great tool, especially getting towards the end of month end now, as we're getting towards the end of August, where you can log in and just see what you need to look after for your particular client as you log into month end. They may be on a monthly IAS pattern, have to pay POAGW in September. You can look at that straight from this Work tab, which I think is a really, really cool tool to enable you to meet your client obligations, which is one of the most important things is working as a professional services person, be it as a bookkeeper or an accountant or an advisor. You can see that I have a pretty sorry looking client list. It's just really my own company at the moment on my tab. The good news is that it's super easy to import clients into the Work tab. So if you have clients you work on which are outside QuickBooks, you can still use the Work tab for the whole of your client base. And I'll show you how right now. So if you just jump up into the cog here and under Tools, go to Import Data. You click on this. We want to bring in our customer base into our Work tab and our QuickBooks Online file. It's going to upload the customers. Select a CSV or Excel file to upload. I'm just going to quickly browse across into what I'd set up earlier. Where are we going? We're in desktop. We're in under here. There's my client file. You can see here now, I'm just bringing in a CSV file of my existing clients. It's brought it in okay. I'll click next down here in the bottom right-hand corner. I now get to map the data, and a lot of this has been done automatically because I did use the template provided by QuickBooks Online Accountant ProAdvisor. So you can see everything's mapped really well here. I can change these around. There's no match for an ABN. So if I scroll down to the bottom, it doesn't appear the ABN is in here at this stage for any of the clients. So I can go back and do this manually later on, or I could fix it and then re-import this. There's a few different ways to get clients in. I find the bulk upload a really good way of getting a lot of clients in a really timely manner. So I'll click next. You can see here, this is a list of everything which is being brought in. So I'm bringing in 9 customers. They're ready to be imported now. All I need to do to get my non-QuickBooks clients inside QuickBooks is now click Import. There we go, 9 customers successfully imported. So if I go back to my clients part here, my clients have all been uploaded into here now. The ones with the delightful green orb are the clients who have a QuickBooks file, and the orbless clients are your other clients. The important thing out of all of this is that you can have all your clients on the one system. So now you've got that, the other parts of the Work tab, which are really important, now you've got your clients inside of QuickBooks, is the 2 buttons up in the corner here. You can either create a client request or create a project. A client request is sent directly to your QuickBooks Online file, appearing in your client's My Accountant tab. You might ask your client to enter some data, provide some more information on a transaction, or send you a document. A project is seen only by you and your team members. Use it to represent a hefty body of work, like a year-end set of financials or the BAS process at the end of a quarter, and then break it up by adding individual tasks to track each thing you need to do to complete it. When you click either button, a panel will open up where you can enter details, choose a client that the work is for, and in the case of a project, assign it to a team member. When your project or request is ready, you simply click Save, and you'll be able to view it and track it here on the Work tab. So what we might do at this point of time is create a project. So if we go up to the right-hand corner here and create a project, we might call this project Quarterly BAS, or given that we're moving towards the end of August, we might say it's Monthly IAS, PAYGW. We'll pick which client it's for. So you can see here, here's a list of the clients. We've got my QuickBooks Online client, and at this stage, my non-QuickBooks Online clients. I might set this one up for my own firm, actually, Active Outsourcing. The due date for us will be the 21st of September. And the really good option here is you have the option of repeating this. So you can repeat this monthly IAS PAYGW task as many times as you want. So given this is a monthly task, I'm going to set this up monthly. We don't have to, but we'll do this here. So I've clicked the repeat button. You can see here it's brought up a few other details underneath where I can set this up on a monthly basis, weekly, bi-weekly, quarterly, yearly, depending on how often you want this task to repeat. And when you want it to repeat, you can make it end, or you can let it basically run on forever. And I'll also tell you the upcoming one. So 21st of October, November, and December. So what we'll do here, we'll actually repeat this because then we can show later on, A, it'll help me, but B, it also means that come the end of September, we'll also get a reminder that this is due. I will make it a bit earlier than the 21st of September on the basis that we might need to do some work prior to this. So I'll set it a week before. The 14th, being a week before when the IS is actually due, it's just a good time zone that gives us enough time to do any work we need to do any checks and balances, and we'll bring it up a week beforehand. So we'll click save on that one. So I've set up a monthly IAS for PAYGW for one of my clients, and it repeats. You just created your first project. Huzzah, doesn't that feel nice? There's nothing quite like getting organized. It's going to be even more fun when your mark it is done. The other part of this, when it pops up here, is you actually have the ability to duplicate this particular project for other clients as well. So it's now probably a pretty good time for us to jump in and duplicate that project, because I know I've got a couple of other clients in here who need to do monthly IASs to remit the PAYGW for their clients. So I'll assign this to them now. So by clicking the duplicate button here, I can now choose another client that I want to replicate this for. I think Wendy Greenberg also has monthly PAYGW for her IAS for her business. So basically, I'll be able to duplicate an existing project. I'll get rid of copy here, have the same things attached to it. We haven't added any tasks yet. I'll do that for the next illustration. I can click save here, and I've effectively duplicated the same project for two clients within a really short space of time. You can see here, they're now popping up in the next 30 days, two things to do. I have a monthly IAS, PAYGW for active outsourcing, and a monthly IAS, PAYGW for Wendy Greenberg. We'll get into these details here about then how you can assign these in a little bit more detail shortly. You can also add tasks to these. So what I'll do is create another project, and we might make this one a meatier one. We'll say quarterly BAS lodgement. Again, we'll set it for the firm that I know. It'll be due in October. Let's make it the 28th of October. We'll repeat this quarterly. Again, we probably want to, while we have it due on the 28th, we probably want to set it a couple of weeks earlier, so it does give us some time to do all the balances we need to do at month end to make sure the GST has been reconciled and things like that. 21st of October, can be as detailed as we want here around what we want to put next to the project. But the really important stuff here is the tasks. These are for you and your team. They're not actually shared with your clients. So you can add a task here. You can say the first task name might be check bank is reconciled. We might have that due date being the end of the first week, the 6th. Won't add any details at this stage. It's pretty self-explanatory to make sure the bank has been reconciled. Transactions. Collapse that back up. Add another task, ensure check bank is reconciled. Another task for quarterly BAS might be review GST audit report. Could probably do that on the same day, but we might set it just after that particular one. So we're saying that we're going to be doing the bank reconciliation on a Saturday. So come the Monday, we can probably log back in first thing in the morning and review the GST audit report. I've just saved that project there. So if I'm looking for my project, switch views to see stuff due more than 30 days out. So one will be in there. It's now a really good time to see when things are due. So again, we can filter here by client. We can filter by projects, tasks, or requests. Status as well, which we'll get to shortly. And this is the timeline of things due. You can see here the replication of the IAS, the IAS, the tasks in here as well. So what we'll do is we'll click into one of these, which I had due for the 8th. Collapse that. Add another task, review GST audit report, prepare BAS summary. And again, this is just stepping out the logical tasks which are required to complete a compliance job for your firm. So we'll set this due date after the 8th. We might be able to check in roughly on the, we'll do that on the 8th as well. If we've done the GST audit report, we've reconciled the bank, we'll collapse that. And then send to client. Still need the client to review and sign everything off. We'll maybe get that done earlier rather than later. That way the client knows what they're due to pay. We'll set that for the end of that week. It'll give us some time to make sure we've had everything reviewed at that point of time. So there we go. We've got 4 really easy tasks which we can then assign to particular staff members if we want, or we can just do them all ourselves. So the tasks underpin the project. So each project will have can have tasks assigned to make sure you get that done. The other really important thing about this is in the really near future, QuickBooks will be putting some template projects and template tasks into the product as well. So you won't need to do as much of the data entry to set up things like this. Sure, you'll be able to alter them to fit your firm. So you'll be able to alter projects and you'll be able to alter tasks, but at least you give you something where it's got what would generally be required in there to do specific tasks to get these everyday jobs done. But for now, it is manual. It's coming soon, but for now it's manual, but this will still give you the ability to track projects and track underlying tasks to deliver things to your clients. So I'll save this project. We did repeat it. Oh, we better save that. So you can see here, this is really stepping out my particular workflow pretty much from now all the way through until the end of the compliance year. Go back to the classic view. You can see here again, it's just a different way of looking at things, which is either this view, which is more a calendar-based view, or the view here, which is more of a list view. I personally like the calendar-based view because it shows me what's coming up over the next, or this week, or today, this week, next week, over the next 30 days. I get a bit lost in the listing. It's good to know what's coming up, like in 6 months' time. But at the same time, I just need to know what needs to be done now, soon, I've got a little bit of time to worry about it, or I can kind of forget about that for now and worry about more pressing things. So that's how you create a project and add tasks to a project. It's really easy to remove a task from a project as well by editing the project and just selecting remove to the trash can. So if we move forward to if I go back to the listing view here, so for argument's sake, I think that I don't really need to check the bank is reconciled because the client's doing that. Then I can simply remove that from my set of tasks. Sure you want to remove the task? Yeah, I'm sure that's gone. You can see here it's refreshed my list of underlying tasks which underpin that particular project. We made a project repeat. We've deleted a project, or we can delete a project. I think I might have actually set up one incorrectly before for the particular client that I had up, which was Wendy. I know where Wendy's gone. Maybe Wendy's not assigned to me at this stage. Might be a good time to show how to assign something to somebody. We'll get to client collaboration shortly, which is around how you can then request documents. But what I'll try to show you now is how to actually go about basically assigning the work to a particular staff member. So you can actually assign the tasks to staff members. I don't know if I have any staff members set up under my firm at the moment. It is fairly new with regards to operating staff through here. We don't really do timesheets at the moment. Given what we do, the cost of labour is kind of unimportant to us. But you can actually assign each of these tasks to different people, and we'll see if we can do that now. I'm just here editing a single project in the series, the entire series. I think my issue is here, I don't have any staff added to this file at this point in time, so I can't assign staff. I might go ahead and just create a staff member. You can see it's just me. It's hard to assign a staff member to somebody when you don't have a staff member. Can have access all areas, access all clients. And again, this is how you grant access to staff members to ensure they can access things and you can assign them work. So just jump back into this work tab here. Okay, we'll see if this now allows us to assign this to a particular staff member. So anyway, this might be a good time to see if anybody has any questions about what they've seen so far. I've obviously shown the work tab, how to turn on full practice management inside QuickBooks Online Accountant, shown the work tab, shown how to import your client list of non-QuickBooks clients. Your QuickBooks clients will automatically show up without you having to do a single thing. Non-QuickBooks clients you can bring in via CSV file or add them manually. Shown you how to set up a particular project for a client, as well as adding the task to that project, which will ensure that you have your ongoing tasks in your calendar, your QuickBooks Online Work Tab calendar, to ensure everything gets done. But is there any questions on anything so far?
Kane, I've actually got Linda asking a question on the recurring task. Is there a bulk way of deleting the recurring tasks?
Yeah, you can delete the recurring tasks on a client basis. So yeah, you can delete the whole series if you so wish. So you can create in the projects which I had set up before. So if I want to get rid of monthly IAS, I can edit the whole series. Edit the whole series, and I just push the little recycle bin down there. What would you like to delete? Only this particular project, all projects in this series, or all projects in the series after a particular due date. So the client might be deregistering for POIG withholding on a monthly basis. They might not have staff anymore. So I could just set the time zone there to actually delete it whenever I want. But I'm happy that I can delete all the projects in this series. Just click delete. Just remember this action can't be redone. So now they've been deleted. You can see my monthly IASs for this particular client have disappeared.
Awesome. That's great.
But Wendy Greenberg's still in there. So she's supposed to do a monthly IAS, the poor thing.
Yeah. Kim asks, can the project also be assigned for management of staff completing the tasks?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm going to get to in a moment, just around team member access and permissions. So I'll get to that very soon.
Thanks, Kane. Katie, is there a way to do a bulk upload of tasks? I don't think there is there? A
Not at
bulk
this
upload?
stage.
No.
Not at this stage around the task. You can replicate it for all your clients, or you can
Mm,
replicate it for each client. So there might be a little bit of time in setting this up based on what your particular projects are
yeah,
in your firm. But yeah, there's nothing at this stage which you can do by bulk. But I did mention before they are bringing in templates, so it might be an easier process going forward of either bringing
yeah.
yours in or amending those ones and assigning them across.
Agree. Yeah, agree, Kane. Yep. So, Katie, hopefully it's answered your question. I think that's about it at this stage, Kane. So,
No problem.
thank you.
Okay, so on to the one about team member access and permissions. Although any member of your firm can access the Work tab, they'll only be able to see items for clients that they have been granted access to through the Team tab. That way, nobody sees information for a client that they're not actually authorised to access. You've got to be aware that as long as a user has access to a client, they also have the full ability to edit any work items for that client. You can also assign projects or tasks to individual team members to ensure everyone knows who is doing what. So we'll just jump into one of these here, and we'll do the Wendy Greenberg here. Exactly sure why this is not allowing me to actually assign this, because this would be usually where you'd allow somebody to access. I might just need to refresh mine now that I've added Fiona as a staff member. So just click the refresh button here. Just jump out of that. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's working. You have to come back to you on that. There's no reason that shouldn't work. Essentially, you just do the drop down on the particular project or task, and you can assign it to the client member. So the status here where it says to do, in progress, blocked, or done, maybe if we put it in progress, we might be able to assign it to somebody. Now, again, there. So basically, under the status block here, under the to do, you can assign it to staff members. So again, not sure why that's not been the case here. It might be just because I've just only recently added the particular staff member who I would assign this to. But yeah, you can certainly do that, and we may follow up this session on the ability to do that. We'll send that out to the people on the webinar. But there is certainly the ability to assign the task to staff members without them seeing anything else on the client, unless they've already got full ability or full access to a particular client. And that's one of the powerful things about that. You can assign specific projects or tasks to individual team members, so everyone knows what they're doing, and each time they log into QuickBooks Online Accountant, their work tab will show what they have assigned to them. So again, super important, that assigning of tasks to staff members, so you're not doing everything, because if you're doing everything, you often don't have time to do any work on the business, talking to new clients, talking to your existing clients. So yeah, the ability to assign is certainly in here, and well worth looking into, and we'll try to send something around after this session on the ability to do that and where you go about doing it. So that's a lot on the creating projects. The other part here is around creating client requests. With a collaboration feature, which is the create client requests, you can share documents and communicate with your client from within QuickBooks Online Accountant. So it's a really good way of raising queries, assigning them to your client to look at. It could be something as easy as providing a document. It could be something more complicated. It could just be clarification of a transaction where somebody's banked a check. Not that you see too many check transactions these days, but we still get the odd one. We still also get the odd cash transaction. So they do happen. They're a little bit rarer, but this is a really good area where you can clarify with the client what something like that may mean, or requesting a document you need to reconcile their bank statement. So to request actions or send documents from your client, you can do that using client requests. With this tool, you can send documents, set due dates, and provide additional information about your request to the client as well. So the best way of doing it is to show it. So we'll just click here on Create Client Request. Request name, bank statement, 30 June. Been a bit lazy on my own work, so I'll send a request to myself around providing a bank statement so I can tidy up all the loose ends for my year-end tax. Do it for my business, due date. That's a bit late. Might bring that forward a bit. It is for a particular, yep, so we can just pop that in there, September 1st. Getting my month wrong. The year is already getting away from us. The status is to do, it's in progress or done. It's in progress. What details do you need from the client? I need your bank statement so I can verify your closing balance and you don't get audited by the big bad wolves at the ATO. Can add a document. If I had an equivalent for the last financial year, most people would understand what a bank statement is. But if I was providing a document and required the client to tell me what was on the document, I can add a document here. So I may just add something to here. I might add my sample CSV file for argument's sake. Just attaching it there, uploading my document. Scanning for viruses, which is always important when you're sending something to a client. Does the attached look about right? So I can publish this to the client's QuickBooks and also notify the client. So that'll send an email notification to the client about this request in addition to publishing it. So that's good. I mean, so the client will get an email and also publish to their QuickBooks. So we'll publish that now. It's coming from it's going to this particular email address, which I'll make it to myself. Bank statement, I need your bank statement. So it's basically taken what I've typed in there and put it into email form. I'm going to say they can respond in QuickBooks. So publish and send the mail. You can also allow replies up here. So reply to, reply from, so they can still respond in QuickBooks, or they can also just probably reply via email, which is still a lot of the way people do respond to queries. It's important to capture things inside software as well, so you have a trail of what people have responded to things you've asked. So if I publish and send the email here, whooshka, email sent, bank statement request is also showing in Active Outsourcing's QuickBooks. So if I just jump into the client version here, which we'll try to do up here. My accountant. So if I jump into the My Accountant tab as the particular client, you can see here that the request has come through via My Accountant. It's really important your clients check that. It's really important you check that it's going via email and they can respond via email. A lot of clients may not know how to access the My Accountant tab. You can see here, I'm now in as the client, QBO instead of QBOA. You click on here, add comments. That looks right. Best accountant ever. Probably not exactly true, but I can take poetic license. So we can post this. Also check the email just to show that it's come via email as well. That is the incorrect email address. All right, I'll just drag this one across. You can see here that in my email address that I've had the request from Active Outsourcing saying I need your bank statement. I've now responded. So you can see there's an email chain. There's also the chain inside QuickBooks. So if I go back to as an accountant, go back to the Work tab. This pops up. Notes, bookkeeping. Oops. You can see here that they've the shared documents and the notes around that. So you can see that clients responded. I've also received the email saying the clients responded, which I showed you before. So there's two areas where you can get notification that things are okay and everything's been sort of dealt with. which is a really good way, again, of just seeing, just collaborating with clients where you need to request documents, especially from clients. Trying to transmit documents via email as opposed to via an interface is really cumbersome. If you've got a list of sort of 5 or 10 queries, for clients to try to respond to a particular query and attach a particular file and email, A, it's really awkward to get those query responses back in a timely manner. B, often email servers block large attachments. So using an interface like this means that A, you get an email notification that there's something for the client to look at, and you get email notification that they've attended to it, but it's also done in an interface where you're not sending really large files across to each other, which inevitably get caught up. So that's the create client request. Are there any questions around that or anything else we've discussed at this point of time?
Yeah, we do have a few questions, Kane. One question that Kath has actually asked, if I can find it again. We've got a few questions coming through. Okay, can you edit the entire series? So can you just show us that again? So there's a few questions around editing the entire series. Thanks, Kath, for that question.
We'll just jump back into the prepare summary. Actually, we'll go back to the nice view here. I said, sorry, there we go. That's the notification that that's come up this week around the client collaboration. But it's just jump back into the project. So I can edit the whole series just by clicking that. I can either return to the single project or edit the whole series of a particular project. So it's really easy there to, if I want to edit the series, I'll click Edit Series. It'll bring up the whole project. And then if I want to delete that whole project, I can. If I want to delete a specific task from the whole recurring project, I can. I can also duplicate this project for other clients, or I could return to the single project and just edit it for just that particular project and not the entire series. So it's certainly options there to do both, depending on if you need to change things for a particular client on a periodic basis.
That's awesome. Okay, another question from Kylie. Are you able to send client requests to clients who are not on QuickBooks?
Yeah, you certainly can. You just need the contact details in there. So there's nothing stopping you doing that. They won't have the ability to log into their QuickBooks file because they simply won't have one to access the information. So at that point where I showed before where you could send them the email as well, it'd be really worthwhile sending that. I don't believe they can then log in and respond because they don't have a QuickBooks file to access a particular thing. Really good question though, but the workaround is just to send it via email.
Yeah, Wayne also asked the same question. So Suzanne wants to know, how can you have your work tab open while working on a client's file?
That's a good question. I think you could probably just duplicate the tab.
So or you have a different, or I use Chrome all the time, so I have 2 different user login details, and I have 2 different things going at the same time as well. So it's a few different ways you could do that. Yeah, cool.
Yes, so that's a really easy way of doing that.
Yeah. Kay asks, does the client receive a notification in their QBO file? I think you showed that. Does the client receive a notification in their QBO file that there is a request from their accountant?
Yeah, assuming they have a QBO file, as we mentioned before, they'll be able to see that in the My Accountant section, which is a really important thing for clients to be aware of if they have a QBO file, that's a section where you can communicate with them, you can swap documents, you can just chat to them about whatever you want in there. So A, it's a really important thing to show clients, and B, it's a really good interface of capturing everything you need from a client in the same software. So yep, they'll get a notification if you send through a query or a client request to them via that.
Okay, Suzanne asks a question, and I don't think we've actually got that in here in QBO at this point of time, and that is, how can you track time while doing these tasks?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's one which you would then go into your firm file, and then you need to set up timesheets, you need to set up staff and things like that. So we've turned on projects, which means that when we create a project here up in the right-hand corner, that project will then be linked to the particular firm. And I'm really operating a demo file here, so I don't have timesheets. You noticed before I don't have my staff set up in this file at this stage. But if you set both of those up, set timesheets up in your firm's QuickBooks file, when you create a project inside work, that will automatically flow through into your firm's QuickBooks file and allow you to charge time to that project, bill out of there, basically do whatever you want. So it is kind of full practice management if you set it up in your firm's file, in your firm file. That's probably something we'll cover down the track once QuickBooks start to build this out a little bit more, is how you can run your entire firm from your QuickBooks Work tab.
Yeah. Ariel asks, if a client has several accountants and they have the same access in QBO from the client, could the accountants assign tasks with each other?
Yeah, I can't see how they couldn't do that. That's probably sort of a bit high level for what we're discussing today, but it would make sense that they'd still be able to use that and assign it amongst team members. So even failing that, you'd be able to make a note on the project for a staff member. So you can assign a task or something to a staff member and make a note on it, and that will turn up in their particular workflow as well.
Last question from Phil. How would you save a training guide for clients to access in QBO?
Save a training guide. So again, you'd probably do that via client request and just attach a document like before. So
awesome.
It's another easy way of just facilitating something which is then captured inside QuickBooks for both of you.
Yep, awesome. That's great, Kane. That's about it, I think, at this stage.
Okay, I've probably got a question out there for people. Any people out there running a firm which uses Slack at the moment? Because we can actually integrate the Work tab with Slack, and you can see up here about connecting to Slack. We do use Slack for certain things, not so much around the client management, but it's a fairly easy way to connect Slack to the Work tab and vice versa. So I'm happy to show that now if there are people out there who have Slack accounts and want to link that to their Work tab.
Yeah, we've got a couple of yes pleases.
All right. So we'll integrate QuickBooks Online with Slack. So first things first, we'll just need to click connect now. It's not much more difficult than that.
Press a button. No.
Press a button.
And off it goes.
Yep. So it brings up the little app here. Just get started. I do already have a Slack account, so I will be able to connect it. That's not an issue. We don't use it so much, but I can certainly illustrate it. Before we connect, we need your authorization, which is only fair. Just let the hamster wheel roll around for a little bit. Oh, Firefox blocking pop-ups as usual. We will allow pop-ups. I just have to bring up my Slack workspace to remember what the ID is. So I'll just bring that in here. Active outsourcing. You can see that's my little head up there. Won't keep that on there for too long. This will be a test. This is always the fun bit of remembering different passwords across different platforms. The single sign-in stuff of QuickBooks Online being able to go from Work tab directly into a client file and apps is really cool. But when you forget your own password for things like Slack, it's not so cool.
Totally agree with you there, Kane.
Give it one more shot.
Yeah.
I have about 6 derivatives of very similar passwords.
I think we all do that, which is a little bit sad, isn't it?
It's probably scary as well. So I can confirm my identity. That's at least a good start. So we'll save that one because it appears right. We'll authorize now. So it only took me 5 password guesses, but I got there in the end. Usually that would time me out and I'd be locked out for an hour, and that's happened on internet banking before when I've needed to make payments, and that is very frustrating. But at least I've got there with Slack, which is probably less important than internet banking, but we've got there in the end. Now I need to set up my team.
Agree with Clayton. Clayton says, get LastPass for password management. I use that as well, Clayton.
I've never really got
anything, Kane?
I used to use LastPass. I always found the little applet that you had to use in Chrome really frustrating because it would
Ah,
pre-populate things that I didn't need it to pre-populate.
no,
But
so you can actually switch that off, Kane.
see, I'm a newbie on
Yeah.
LastPass. I'm good at
Actually,
across a
yeah,
lot of
we've got four of
technology.
us. Yep, there's five of us that actually do use LastPass. So that's, yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm going to
everyone
sign
out
up
there?
straight away.
Okay, back to
So I'm
this,
just setting
back
up
to
setting up my
Slack.
firm. Yep, I'm back in Slack. I want to just send most of my stuff to, for notifications will just be general. So I can then set up my own Slack channels for each particular client. Oops. Excellent. We'll set one up for Alex B. Can make it private if I need to. At this stage, anyone can join up. You may already have these set up for clients. So it's really just linking what you've got in Slack already back to what you've got in QuickBooks Online. So I'll just set up 2 for now and click Save. Success, work is now connected to Slack. So the few things which are really cool about it, you can see I've now got Slack is connected to QuickBooks Online. General. What we might do here is try to push a project across into Slack. So you can see there's a Slack reminder. So we might actually be able to actually take the existing, we won't save that one. What we'll do is we'll try to pick up the existing task for the monthly BAS summary, the underlying project, set up a Slack reminder. So I've already set this up previously, so I'm just now turning on Slack. So it'd be important if you are going through the process of setting this up for your firm that you set Slack up when you're commencing it. That way you can set up the Slack reminder to go across in your Slack channel the day before or on the day of the particular item. So process would be, I'd definitely look to set up projects. You might not use them to begin with, but set them up in the advanced settings, set up Slack, and then go ahead and create all your workflow and all your clients. So I've set up a Slack reminder one day before, click Save, and then that will filter across the day before it's due into a Slack reminder for active outsourcing to lodge their BLA. So it's a really easy and quick way of assigning tasks in one thing and push it across to your everyday sort of chat channel and things you can, again, liaise with clients with. I find Slack a really good tool for other things I use Slack for. A great way of sharing information and using something like a chat room, which keeps everything in one spot so everyone in an organization can really look through that. So then tying something like your workflow into your channel and having everyone be able to see those and be reminded of a task a day before it's due, I think it's a really powerful thing for people out there who are using Slack. I have to say, before the Work Tab came out, I was using Trello, which is kind of okay, but didn't have the sort of granularity to it that I need, and being able to set up tasks and things like that. I find this a really good way of running a professional workflow without relying on Excel spreadsheets, Google Docs, something like a Trello, which is not sort of fit for purpose. This is designed by accountants and bookkeepers for accountants and bookkeepers. So for us, it's been really good so far. It's being built on all the time, and again, being able to tie parts of this to other technology we use in our business is really important because we are 100% online, and we run a distributed workforce. So having things in different platforms which talk to each other is super important. That's really everything I wanted to cover today. Are there any more questions which have popped through, Loretta?
Yes, they have. Now, Kay's got a great idea. She says it would be great if the accountant request popped up in the tasks list on the dashboard.
That's a
On
really
the
good one.
tasks list, yeah. Doesn't do
I
it
think you've
yet,
seen
does
one
it?
here. This has got
Whereabouts?
what it is there. So you can see here. So I've assigned the bank statement for 30 June to active
Yeah.
outsourcing. So I need your bank statement. So there's the trail by clicking on the little item there. We'll say email sent today, blah, and then they've responded, yep, that looks right. You're the best accountant ever, which is mostly true a lot of the time. So yeah, it certainly has popped. It has popped up there. It's probably not the most obvious
I
way
think
of. that
Yeah, I think
popped up?
K means actually in the actual file itself, you know, in the on the home page. Is that what you meant, Kay? So on the home page of QuickBooks Online, we have like a task reminder coming
Okay.
in from recurring transactions. So I understand what you mean there, Kay. It would be a great reminder for each different file that we have. So it's in the home page, on the very
Yeah,
home.
we'll
And
try.
I love that idea, Kay. So you know what? We've got a feedback button. So let's all put that back in the feedback button.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Any way that anyone out there thinks is a good way to build out. QuickBooks are pretty good at
Mm,
developing things we ask for, and they do it in a fairly timely
mm.
manner. So
Oh,
any
agree.
sort of wish list
Agree.
stuff, just throw it up there, and hey, half your
Yeah.
luck, it will get built pretty quickly.
Yeah, agree. Heidi asks, I did ask QBO about this. I asked if I could connect to the client accounts, but couldn't at the time. The question is, can I connect to client accounts now or only your own?
Well,
Oh,
the
for
client,
Slack, that is, for Slack. Okay, so two things down for Slack.
okay, you wouldn't be able to. It'd be very difficult to because you're basically authorizing your own Slack subscription. So you're authorizing from
Mm,
QuickBooks Online Accountant
to
to
yours,
your
to
version of
ours.
Slack. So
Yeah,
it really needs
yeah.
to be a channel inside there. So at this stage, it'd be impossible to link to multiple client
Mm,
Slacks. You can only link to
mm,
one Slack account. So yeah, I think between Slack accountants, you might be able to do some sort of cross-based stuff, but I'm certainly no expert on that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, the integration between QuickBooks Online Accountant and Slack is just it's a one-time thing, so you have
yeah.
one account.
Yep. Brad's asking for a T-Sheets integration webinar. Can we get a quick overview of T-Sheets integration for time tracking while working on client account? That might be another webinar, don't you think, Kane?
Yeah, definitely. So this is the
Yeah.
first one, just making people aware of the Work tab, how you can bring
Mm,
non-QuickBooks clients into it. Basically building your workflow. And then, yeah, a logical next step would be then, okay, now we've got that in there, how can we use T-sheets? How can we use recurring billing? All those sorts of things inside
yeah.
our own firm's QuickBooks file to
Yeah.
then basically make this like a really super easy to use practice management system.
Mm, I agree. There's a whole lot of people saying that you need LastPass or Dash Lane. Someone's mentioned Dash Lane. So,
I will definitely
okay.
take that on board.
All right. Now, Ariel asks, is there a way that staff who has an assigned task could put commentaries on why the task was not finished yet?
I can't see why there wouldn't be. You can make a note on a task. So yeah,
Mm,
there's certainly the ability to then make a note on the task, which would sit on the file. To be honest, like I don't think it would
yeah,
necessarily go back via email, but it would sit on that file, as you see here, with different notes attached to it.
yeah, yeah, agree.
So I can say
Ariel,
I
yeah,
can even move things here where I can just say this particular project because it
yeah,
is done. So then it will
completed, yeah.
disappear. And I can, the other part here is around showing see, I've just got a notification there that I've
From
just done
Slack.
a
Mm,
task. So there's the integration popping up there. I can also
yeah,
say which clients are from QuickBooks and which aren't. So if I go between the two, my QuickBooks client is there. I can go
yep.
QuickBooks on, QuickBooks on, QuickBooks off, QuickBooks on, QuickBooks off,
That
QuickBooks
sounds
on,
like a
QuickBooks off.
movie phrase there.
But it's really handy. It's really handy to know clients which are on QuickBooks and ones which may not be on QuickBooks. And hey, you could always integrate them across, but if not, you can still manage them via this tool.
Um, okay. Yep. A webinar on T-sheets would be great. Yep. Awesome. Lynn Marie, I don't know whether we can answer this one. Oh, you might, Kane. Our business needs to send invoices within the staff in our businesses for approval.
Mm.
Does QuickBooks or the work function have the ability to do like a pathway?
There won't be anything
Mm,
inside. I don't think there's anything inside the work tab. You might be able to set up
no.
internal tasks for your particular firm, but
Yeah.
there's nothing which I can think of which would really kind of action what's described there.
Oh, Lynn Marie says approve an invoice before processing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Yeah.
that one. I have to come back to you on that.
I'd probably just put in a task that's the actual procedure to be done, probably.
Yeah, well, this might be something
Um,
which could be dealt with
mm,
inside the firm's QuickBooks file
yeah.
rather than
Uh,
in the task tab.
yeah. Brad says, is there an escalation feature when tasks get close to due or overdue by you or anyone you have assigned a task?
There's not an escalation as such. It will pop up on the person's work tab and the listing. So yeah, I'm not sure there's an escalation item as such. You can probably just depending on where your staff member works, you probably just walk across to their desk and just go, "Hey, where's it at?" But
Mm,
yeah, you can see the overall task for everyone everywhere. So it can be whoever's assigned, different firms, what types they are, requests, all statuses. So you can run a report based on things which aren't done and filter it by end date. So you can still get there maybe a different way than automatic
yeah,
escalations. And I'm not a super big fan of, receiving an email for every time, somebody's kind of breathed on a job. Only on the basis that it's kind of death by email. And Loretta and I were talking about that before the webinar, just about how many different emails we get every day, which are even non-work. So just try to cut down on the emails and use a system where you can just log in and see where things are at. I think is really important for just
agree.
people's work-life balance.
Yeah, agree, Kane. Okay, well, look, we might end it up, but Maurice is just asking a question and says, thanks, Kane and Loretta, excellent session. So well done, Kane. Thank you very much for today. Are copies kept of these webinars for later review? So one thing that I haven't mentioned is in the GoToWebinar dashboard panel that you see in front of you, under handouts, there is a little handout question sheet. If you'd like to download that and just keep it handy for yourself. But also too, Quinn, who does look after our training sessions. So I know Quinn's still sitting there because I can see her there. She tells me that she's going to put up the recording on our Facebook group page, as well as the Intuit Australia YouTube channel and the website. So that's 3 different places you can actually find the recording on. Maurice, so hopefully you'll be able to track one of them down. So probably give Quinn maybe a couple of hours, or even by tomorrow. Maurice, if you're in the Facebook group, just do a call out. I'm admin on that page, so I'll be able to track down Quinn and make sure that she puts up a link for us. Okay, are you right for a couple of questions? I've got Lynn Marie asking a few questions. Kane, 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say the
Yeah,
other
okay,
thing,
cool. Yep,
the other thing is it's a really easy sort of thing to learn to use and use. So maybe the best way of actually learning is through doing it as well. So you can always jump on without having to watch the webinar again and just play
yeah.
around with a few different things. It's really easy to, if you stuff something up, it's really easy to delete things that they showed before. You just push the rubbish bin button and it disappears.
Yeah,
So
I must say
yeah,
that's how I learn, by stuffing up. Remember not to do that again. Lynn Marie asks, is there software that I can purchase that is compatible with QBO to have invoices flow through our staff for approval? Yeah, that might be an app, Lynn
yeah.
Marie. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of different apps out there which will integrate, and it's another good place to, while you're in here, having a look at the work tab and your
Underneath the word, yeah, go on,
is
Kane.
just jumping
Yep,
into apps for your firm. So you can just
yep.
jump into apps, go into the firm apps. Oh, actually, while I'm in here, you find apps here. You get wholesale billing on apps like Expensify and Team Sheets for your clients as well. So you now actually have the option of doing wholesale billing on apps for your clients. So you can pass on the benefit to the client. You can keep the benefit. And you can meet them in the middle. So wholesale billing for clients for us means one invoice, which is great. They all come to us. We can bill the client what we want. Happy days. Firm apps, so again, there'll be different ways in here where you can add an app which will give you the functionality that you want for your firm's QuickBooks file. So I'm just thinking of something like SendGrid or something like that may work, but maybe I've just made the name of that app up and I've just combined 2 apps. But there's certainly one out there which will help you.
Yeah, definitely agree. I've got a couple of people asking where was the handout again. In the GoToWebinar dashboard panel that you see in front of you, which will be the tool, the grey and white. Well, mine's grey and white. There will be a panel that is called Handout. All you need to do is just click on the arrow that points to the right, just expand that and you will find a PDF version. It's actually called QBOA Workflow and Comms Overview and FAQ, and it's a PDF. So hopefully Christina's found it. That's awesome. Yep, a couple of you have found it. That's awesome. Okay, Kane, what say you? Okay, one more question, Kane. Nope.
Yeah, one more. Happy to take one more question.
Okay,
Absolutely.
one more. If a client responds via email instead of through QB, is this recorded in QB?
Yeah, it will be. It is certainly recorded in there. You could see before where I brought up on the Work tab.
Yep.
That when they've responded via email, because they responded via email,
Yep.
I didn't log in as me. That we'll do it via email very quickly. Bring up that Slack. Thanks, great. So if I respond here by just clicking reply,
Yep.
Yep, duly attached. Two seconds. My email service slow this morning, so it might not have come up yet. But you can have a conversation here with your client. So yeah, certainly you can post via email as well. So there's the ability to post via email. They can respond via email and it'll come back by that as well, I believe. So I've just got to bounce, so maybe that's not the case. Respond in QuickBooks. There will be a way. I just don't have the ability at this stage, so late in there, to actually show that across.
Awesome. Okay. 12 o'clock, Kane, so we're all good.
Thanks everyone for logging in today and learning a little bit about the Work tab. Like I said before, maybe the best way for now, maybe review the webinar, or maybe just jump in and have a bit of a play around. And I really do think it's a really easy and free way of saving you a lot of time in the future, and it's only going to get better.
Yep, I totally agree with that. From where it started from to where it is today, it's pretty awesome at the moment to be able to help you run your practice. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. We will close the recording down now, and you will find it, as I said, on Facebook, the Intuit YouTube channel, as well as the intuit.com.au website. Okay, everyone, thank you very much. Have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay happy. Thanks, everyone.